indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we're here for the Board of Equalization. Ryan over. And you brought your assistant. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. How do you want to start off?
Before we talk about values or proposed values, I'd like to take a few minutes and address any general questions that anyone in attendance may have. This is the opportunity that Washburn property owners have to protest the assessed value of their property. And though we can field some general questions, any questions on specific parcels, we're probably not best equipped to address here as we're not in front of the parcel data. So we would ask if there are specific questions about certain parcels that they either contact our office or come in and visit us. And as far as how that goes with the proposed values, if there are any issues we need to investigate, we ask that you go ahead and accept the values as proposed, but we'll investigate that in the meantime and inform the board of any changes that need to be made. So if anyone has questions, now would be the time.
I've never really been to the meeting on this before, but I'm surmised more just curiosity on
Sure.
the process, because I'm looking at my property and of course it continues to be increasing. And I kind of wonder what goes into that. And also, it's the dwelling value that's increasing, the land value doesn't change at all. So, just a little explanation on that.
As per state statute, how we assess the property is based on the sales that happen in each jurisdiction each year. Every sale that happens in the county comes across our desks and we evaluate those sales. And we see that almost always the assessed value is lower, if not considerably lower than the sale price. And the state requires us to maintain assessed values between 90 and 100% of actual market value. So the assessed values are based on the sales that happen in Washington.
And as far as the land value, that doesn't change, just the, as opposed to the dwelling value?
Land value is a little harder to pin down because of the limited number of vacant lots that there still are, and as such, the limited number of vacant sales. So we can extract a value, and periodically we'll make land adjustments. But it isn't as often we find the structure adjustments are necessary.
Okay, and you do the county stuff as well?
Yes.
And I was just curious there because the property value of my home, or the land value, has gone up, but yet across Highway 200, which there's about 85 acres owned by my family, and that assessed value has gone up and it's just a pasture. That has gone up, not substantially, but I'm just curious why.
The ag land values are assessed on a different basis than the residential and commercial property. The ag land values are assessed per soil type according to a formula devised and maintained by the NDSU extension in Fargo. And they take 10-year averages and toss out the low and the high, and they tell us what each soil type is worth at the beginning of every year, and we apply those changes. This year, I think it went down nearly 2%.
Okay, that's all I've got.
If anyone else speaks up, please state your name first.
Oh, in retrospect, my name is Dick Vicker.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Mike Hurt. I have an undeveloped lot up on, across the highway, and the city just sold 2 lots for $500. But my property value went up $500 from $1,900 to $2,400. Now, is that going to be assessed this year, now that this was just done? Or can I get my request to drop my property tax down for that?
The bill you received, the tax bill you received this year was for the prior year. Any changes going forward you'd see in the future.
So next year, I would get a deduction or valuation down because the property just sold, and these are undeveloped lands with no water and sewer, no street, no nothing.
We can take it into consideration. We can't make a decision on that right here now, but we'll definitely consider it.
Okay, I'll give you my information after.
Yeah, do you wanna give our office a call or just,
I can give you
Give us
the
a-
parcel number if you want.
Okay.
Whenever you want that.
I'll meet up with you before I leave, so
Okay.
that we can take a look at that.
Dan Langang, like you was talking to Dick Bicker here, you were saying it's based on, sales of, other homes and stuff. Is that just in the Washburn area, or are you looking at the Bismarck area too,
No,
as
we only,
values?
only McLean County and only Washburn sales for
Okay.
Washburn.
All right, thank you.
Looks like that's about it.
Mhm.
So the values as presented include across the board countywide increases to residential structure value of 3% and to commercial structure value of 5%, with individualized adjustments as needed.
So I have a question about the report that we got. The report that we have is, I didn't see any of the businesses that had any dollar amounts listed there. So is that a separate document that you guys have? Because I only saw like individual owners and then what they were owing and things like that, but I didn't see anything for businesses.
It should have included the commercial property as well. I can look at that
It
report.
doesn't, yeah. I went through the whole thing twice.
Okay, well, I'll look at it, and if it doesn't include those values, I will
Thank you,
reproduce
yeah.
the report.
Cause that was my main question, like why is there a 0 here, 0, 0, 0 for these business things and then just the personal owners, so it didn't make sense to me, so, thank you.
I do wanna state something. So 2 lots were sold at the last meeting for $500 apiece. But I believe those lots will be valued for tax purposes. Even though they sold for 500 apiece, but,
But you're going by sales, that's what I'm saying.
right, yeah,
That won't be done for a year or two, I believe, until they get it built or whatever, right?
right.
It won't be assessed. But these aren't being built on, or mine's not being built on. So it
Correct.
should be backwards to the sales price, roughly, somewhere in that area. I said not to sell them, but
Right.
you guys decided to, so.
Mhm.
So maybe just to clear that up a little bit, it'll average, won't it? So like if, let's say they're 2,500 now, 2 sold for 500, however many there are, that would just drop it down by whatever percent in the bigger pool. So it might be like 2,300, 2,400 if it was to average down, right? Is
It
that
could
like
be.
realistically
However-
what they're talking about, I guess?
However, for each sale, we look at the conditions of the sale and we send out what's called a sale validation sheet to ask some questions about the sales, say if it was between family members or personal property was included. Potential reasons why a sale would not be considered an arm's length transaction would be a sale between family members or a sale from a government entity to a private, where it would become no longer exempt.
Mhm.
And so that sale might not be considered at all, or as heavily as a sale between 2 equal property owners.
May not reflect its true market value, that
Yeah.
$500 is probably not,
Could
Market
we
value.
state it? Yeah.
Yeah. Because one thing the city does by selling these lots is to put those properties on the tax roll. So we may take an adjustment for less money in order for that property to be assessed properly and as they grow infrastructure, water, sewer, they'll be adjusted accordingly.
I would expect so.
I got one more question for Ryan, Dan Langang. When you, base that on the sales, are you going by square footage of the home? Is that how you do it then?
The pricing guide, we'll say the cost guide that our pricing model uses is based on the vital stats of the home. So you have the age, the size, the condition, the quality of the build. So all those are put in each parcel. And we can modulate that to a certain degree if we observe an increase or decrease in condition. So square foot is a component of that value, but it's not the only component.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other questions? Not hearing any, I'm gonna close the special, or the, Board of Equalization. Oh,
You need
we'll have
to,
to vote,
you
sorry.
need to make a motion to accept
Yeah,
these values
I'm
as
sorry.
presented.
I make a motion to accept these values as presented.
Second it.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Not hearing any?
I have
Oh.
heard from about 4 or 5 members or people in the city,
Resident.
residents. So, they're concerned a little bit. So, I just wanna voice that for them,
Okay,
okay?
yep.
Cause people see their taxes rising and then they get scared because like if they've had their home paid off like for 15, 20 years and they have these tax increases, it's concerning because they're like, well, we can't really afford to keep our home, you know, cause even though that's paid off. So those are the people I've talked to, that they've already paid off their homes, they're retirees. And then they're hit with these assessments, and so I'm still hearing feedback about that.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
wanna voice, I think that those are valid concerns. I would be concerned.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank you for bringing up that
so,
point.
yeah.
I've also had property owners in town talk about the increase of all the specials that everyone's paying, and then the property values are going up, added taxes. So it is a very big concern.
Not to be, easily decided, I suppose.
Yeah.
So,
Commentary on that would be an example of, there was a span of about 5 years, up until 3 years ago, that we did no across-the-board changes. We did not increase values at all, but everybody's tax bill still increased, even though we didn't change the values. Because every taxing district in the county, in the city, is never gonna decrease their budget, because the economy is always expanding. So I would expect the tax bills are always gonna go up regardless of what we do.
Due to inflation and everything.
well, that's the other concern though, yeah.
If I may ask, I see this as just a little bit different than like specials or like property tax, which is managed by a budget, because this is bound by state law, right? Like, do we really have an option in this? It's not like we're choosing to.
Correct.
Right, so this one's just a little bit different. I do know what you're saying though, but for specials and budgetary concerns, that's where we'd have more control. I guess with budget, it would affect it because then this would change how much they had to pay by a percentage or something like that. Or mill levies and that sort of thing.
Say it again.
So basically, if they have a more valuable house, then their property tax would be higher, which then they pay more towards like mill levies and that sort of thing. So is that how it plays in?
The value goes with the mill rate that is set by the cities and the counties, and that there's a formula that they do, and that's how you end up with your tax bill. So if the mill rate goes up, then that's gonna go up as well.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I was thinking. So basically, this part is, we're just bound by state law. Where we as a city can take part is specials and sticking on budget, not special, that sort of stuff. So just to make that clear, does that,
The differentiation.
People
Right, am I
buying
thinking-
prices out a high price are going to drive that up, and we see
Right.
that in our city currently.
Can I ask the question then, because technically speaking with what we've been given, and what I saw, where I was like trying to understand why there's not businesses listed amongst that, and I didn't understand that. So I would like to be able to make an informed decision if I had the proper information in front of me, because then I feel like, okay, we're missing that. I mean, if you go through and look at the whole thing, it's missing that. So I don't think it's really fair to make a decision unless you actually know exactly what's going on with those numbers. And accepting that is what I'm saying. Because how can you make a decision based if you don't have the proper numbers?
because we couldn't even change it if we had different numbers. Is that correct? Because
No, he was saying the
Is it-
report
is it-
is not reflecting that, and he will get us the report.
Well, what I'm saying is, isn't this kind of like a leash pulling the dog situation? Like, we don't really have control over, like, because we have to stay within that 90 to 100% by state law. right? Like,
So-
could we say no?
Yes.
Oh, we
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You can choose, you can choose to not adopt the values, you can choose to adopt them conditionally. What happens is, in the first week of June, the county has its Board of Equalization meeting, and they decide whether or not to adopt our proposed values. And if for whatever the reason, the county would all in all reject our values or jurisdictionally reject the values, they'd go to the state, and the state board would review and realize that if we don't make adjustments, we are 15 points below the required threshold, and then the state would zip us up to 100% instead of being where we aim typically 90 to 92%. So it'd be a hard increase,
What, so we get forced more? So we could say no, but then we get forced more?
but if not by the county, then by the state.
Oh, so we can't say no.
Would that be this year?
The illusion of choice, yeah.
Or,
Yeah, those adjustments would be made this year, yeah.
Yes.
well-
Okay, whatever.
So the other workaround would be to,
I just want the full report, that's
No,
what
I know
I'm
what
asking
you're
for,
saying,
so. Cause I think that would be, I mean, we have to look at it all, so I'd like to be able to make that better decision. I'm not opposed to like stepping in the way and be like, no, we're not doing this, and then getting whammed. That's interesting. So that would take effect when? If we said no now, when would we have to?
The county board is first week of June, the state board is second week of August.
So
They would be upheld this year effectively.
So if we delayed it a month, that's not gonna hurt us?
Nope.
Okay, so we can actually get,
I mean, that's fine.
If you do want to have the equalization meeting over again, which would be effectively what we're doing, is postponing this one and then reopening, it would have to be re-advertised
okay,
as a separate new meeting.
right, I understand.
Any more discussion?
What is the, yes, sorry, what is the, assessed value again then? Where are we at? Is the percentage that we are trying to aim for right now? Is it
Ideally, it's gonna be 90 to 92%, and I think that's about where Todd got us. Initially, it was low 80s.
Okay,
And with the sales that we don't have to consider and the step adjustments we make, we get us about that 90% threshold.
92% of what stuff is selling for now,
Right.
within the 92.
Ideally, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, by state law, it's between 90 and 100. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, by law, they need to try to stay in that 90%. Any more discussion? Okay, not hearing any, Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay, now I'm gonna call the Board of Equalization.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
adjourned. Okay, we're gonna start right off on the city commission meeting. Call the meeting to order,
We can skip the pledge.
okay, since we just did.
Yeah, just
All right.
rolling.
Alright, let's move on down the, somebody wanna make a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Brandon? Any more discussion? If not, Brandon?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, public comment?
Right, but that's,
Anybody here that wants to be
and they
recognized
might be
for
a 19.
public comment? Nope. Okay, consent agenda items?
A motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? If not, Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes, sorry.
And yes. Okay, number 6, waiver of fees, McLean County Sheriff's Office. You wanna come up?
I guess we're just looking at,
Stay doing.
oh, I'm Lieutenant Cody Meadows at the McLean County Sheriff's Department. So I guess what we're asking is just for a waiver of fees. We wanna host a training, for the sheriff's office, in the basement of the Memorial Hall. So we're just asking for a waiver of fees for that.
I'll make a motion to
I'll second.
waive the fees.
Okay.
Is there any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 And yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
Okay, number 7, plat submission, final approval. Liz? Aaron, you wanna come up?
If you don't mind.
Sure.
Good evening, Aaron Hummert, land surveyor here on behalf of George Limbs. Working on the survey platform here. Before you use a 2-lot subdivision. This falls in county, within the county, but due to its proximity to the city limits, it was subject to city jurisdiction. So that, obviously the city council has to take cognizance of it.
Hold on, Aaron, I just have one comment to reiterate, we're not annexing it into the city.
Okay, yes, yeah, that's not part of the petition. The plat itself says a McLean County plat, not city of Washburn. Yep, yes, correct, yep. And, yeah, a 10-acre lot and 11.45 acre lot. The utilities, I believe, were submitted with the P and Z application. There's rural water, there's RTC, and McLean Electric. They all have capacity. Jim Gray gave us parameters for the road. There is covenants. I believe they're pretty stringent covenants. I think that's been the general feeling. I've got a copy here if there's review, or if anybody wants to review that. So certainly appreciate any questions and hopefully ask for a do pass vote. So.
I think there was a concern, for the trafficking on that road because of how narrow that road is. So that is important to bring up, right? When we talk about that. So like this road particularly is a single lane road that you have to go by other property members. And so when we had this meeting, there were several people that were here voicing concern about this and the traffic that'll happen here down this road on Lewis and Clark down here. It comes down past this driveway over here. And so there's people here that that live here and that are really concerned about the developing on this and how the road is gonna take the beating in that. And I do think that's valid. And I think that we need to take in consideration. I know that the developer is taking a lot of responsibility for all of the area around there, but I don't know how on that road, when it comes down, I'm sorry, I'm pointing at yours.
You're fine. It actually makes it really easy. Thank you.
But the corner where you come down this way, it's a really, not just a single lane, it's a very steep grade. So you have, and in the wintertime it's very treacherous. So from what I understand from the people, and I spent time talking with them that live in this area, in this neighborhood, in this part. So, having big equipment coming in, that road, is that right? It comes down this way, and then,
There's gonna be, foreseeably there'd be equipment that need to access.
and it
you know,
comes down
trucks
that way.
to do the rehab work, but I guess after that, I would anticipate.
Right.
Normal vehicle travel for 2.
And then there's also the adjoining property values that were brought up in question because of the development side, and we didn't have somebody there that could really talk about that, but that was the other questions that were brought up at that meeting. So, just filling that in.
There is a road use agreement that we can put into place that if the city wants to go ahead and approve this, that road use agreement will have to be put in place that any damage or if they leave that road worse than when it started, the developer is responsible for fixing that road. That would be on them as well, given if the trucks do ruin that road.
Okay, thanks, Chelsea.
If I may.
Sure.
We met Jim Gray out there, and
Mhm.
that's what he had told us he was expecting from Mr. Lenz, and he agreed to do it. The discussion wasn't anything beyond the property. To my knowledge, Mr. Gray would be the authority on that.
Okay.
So I mean, we solicited the county's opinion on the road. Nothing was brought up. You know, that, take that for what it's worth, you know what I mean? I
Yep,
certainly
and they have to
understand.
have, the only way to get to that property is by going on our city road. So that is where that concern lies. What the developer does with his road is a gate that cuts off more or less city limits and where this develop is going. They're only looking at developing that road up to where Jim wants it to be. Now Lewis and Clark Trail that comes down, they have to access that road to be able to get to said road that will be built up.
Right.
That is where that concern lies. When I spoke to Lindell, he said that a road use agreement would not be a bad idea, just to cover the city.
If I may ask, is this within, it's not within city limits where they pay taxes to Washington?
No, they don't pay city taxes either, but it's within our 1 mile radius, so it's extraterritorial, so it has to be approved by the city planning and zoning, which makes it a little gray area. But no, they will not be within, they're not paying city taxes, they're not within city limits. They just, it's within our 1 mile, cause it's directly right on the border of our city limits.
So we wanna do everything we could to protect our assets then, in that case.
That
And
is
this
correct.
owner right here, actually has a huge section of their acreage that's actually they're paying city taxes on, and then they have a little bit that falls outside.
Oh,
So
really?
that's like
Okay.
right on the border here, like
Sure.
we're like right on the limits of where we're at.
Where does our road end? Like, is this whole little
It's down
thing
here.
into there? So that line
Yes.
Okay.
So they have to go right
is,
past
that makes
all of
sense.
these homes over here, which it's kind of cut off there, so you can't really see it all. But
Yeah,
if you have a bigger blow up, you can actually see the other homes that are gonna be.
I guess we have a road usage agreement that
we
Lindell
can
has
see.
available.
Yeah.
We have to get it drawn up yet,
Okay.
but you can approve it contingent upon that road use agreement,
Okay.
and Lindell will get it drawn up.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
What were the other concerns?
That was the main one because of the homeowners that were showing up for the meetings on that. The assessing part as well, but that's with the county since it's
Mhm.
outside of our limits. And it was helpful to have Ryan here to talk about that, so. But this home over here, this homeowner over here, like all of that, they're wondering about what they're gonna be maybe hit with fees, but we don't really know because of how it's undeveloped right now, so we don't know how that will affect them until afterwards, until after all the improvements have been made.
And that'd be a weird place to be to make a decision based upon county taxes and their outcomes
Right.
from that decision.
It's a very unusual case.
Extraterritorial.
And I know
Not
there's-
going to change their values.
No,
I mean,
not so much?
No, it won't be astronomical.
Okay,
And if I may, the comment was concerned that it would actually raise property values, which I think is kind of a backhanded compliment that.
oh, that's good.
You know what I mean, that
Yeah.
it's raising property values, it's not, cause just speaking, I'm not an attorney or whatever, I can't speak, but I know we had a development come in right next to our house in Mandan. It was the inverse where they were looking at trailer homes and stuff like that were gonna drop it, and we did explore that.
So these are stick-built homes, they're not, or are they modulars brought in? Or
I don't know what I guess I didn't go through the,
cause that would be helpful to know. I mean,
it's
they're
in the,
not modulars. No, okay.
yeah, I don't
I'm
think.
pretty sure the covenants are pretty clear on that of what
Exactly.
they can come into.
I guess what I was saying from my own personal perspective was, when we contested it, we had to submit some sort of appraisal document to show that.
Okay.
So
Great. No, that's
and
good.
I appreciate the concern and don't want to be obviously dismissive, but I mean, it was,
I appreciate that, thank you.
Okay, I motion to approve it contingent upon the road use agreement that would protect that road in full. That
And I
robust
second
enough.
that.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Or any discussion?
What would that road use agreement, would it just be during the construction, or would it be like the long-term
just during construction,
use of the road?
yep. Because then it falls on the city to maintain that road.
Well, it's a pretty good sized area, so if you're gonna have 2 homes put in, right? 2 homes?
There's 2
Okay.
lots.
So there's gonna be a lot of work on that area.
Any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 And yes. Thank you.
Thank you, I'm sure.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Lenz extends appreciation. Thank you.
Thank
Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, gonna move to number 8, gaming site authorization. Dakota Leathers. So they've turned in their paperwork. They're just asking for, is all the paperwork been filled out correctly, Chelsea?
Yes, and, this is just their yearly, gaming site authorization to continue gaming up at the captain's cabin.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve this gaming site authorization.
I will second that.
Is there any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And yes. All right, we're gonna move on. Washburn Life lodging tax request. Donna, would you like to come up?
Sure.
Keith, since I'm involved in Washburn Life, will you take over?
Yeah, sure, that's no problem. Okay, so we have Washburn's Life request for funds for the Washburn Lodging Tax Fund, which they did a great job of receiving, or giving us all the receipts, that sort of stuff, as well as our ordinance that would allow this use of those funds. There's the meeting minutes, of course, previous, receipts, as we all saw in our meeting packet. I guess we could start off with discussion, if anyone would have any questions for Donna. It's similar to last year, we had some of this, and this would be the work that was done previously to kind of get the infrastructure set up, as well as 2 of the signs. Looks like you guys moved away from the lighting. Is that true?
We're still looking into the lighting.
But for now.
Gotcha. So basically, it's just those signs kind of over by that last gas station to facing that way. Washburn directions, I don't know which that way, but
We call them billboards.
billboards, okay, thank you,
Yeah.
the billboards,
Northwest, or that's northeast, I guess, right?
west-ish, yeah.
Northwest, okay.
So if anyone has any questions or anything.
Well, that makes sense to me.
If I may, if you don't mind. So the billboards that were up there, they were falling apart. One was actually in 2 pieces. So the Washburn Life didn't want to lose these billboards because they're a great advertiser for Washburn. So they took it upon themselves to say, if we're gonna save these, we're gonna have to do it now before they get any more damage. And we were very vigilant on looking at supplies, what it's gonna cost. And for the advertising that Washburn gets, it's something we don't wanna lose. And especially for the future, we're looking at putting up a banner on one of the billboards for Riverboat Days. Try to make it generic so we could use it over. We're also looking at, for the Clint Hill celebration. And then any other future use. And then, since you brought up lighting, you know, right now during the day, you have total visibility. At night, if we are able to light those up with approval from the DOT, then we'll have 24/7 advertising for Washburn, so.
That's good.
Who did the repairs? Who fixed them up?
R&S Construction, they're a licensed, bonded.
I was just curious.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. They actually put in new posts, new bracing, new plywood. They actually even straightened them out because they were tilted a little bit over the years.
Can't imagine why. Our wind. God bless. Well, I will make a motion to accept your request at the Washburn Life for the funds for their lodging tax pool billboard signs. Is that what I'm saying, right?
Mm.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
You looking for a second?
Yes.
That's what we would need to move on, yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay, moving on to discussion. Any further discussion? I guess just one of the things we kind of brought up last year, I do really appreciate that you guys are going with local designers and printers this time. I know we kind of came to a disagreement on that at our last meeting, and just personally, I'd rather not be paying for that portion of it, which would be the $253.87 for the previous banner. Because I was just kind of chosen to go about that, and now you're kind of coming back to get that paid for when it was already denied once, I guess, would be my thought.
There was no decision last time. It died for lack of a second, so there was not really a
Yeah.
denial on it.
Yeah.
And we've had that up advertising the town for the last 6-8 months or whatever, so probably
Yeah,
has gotten some benefit for the city.
right, no, and I agree with that for sure, just the whole procedure of it, like trying to advertise shopping local with AI billboards printed out of the state or wherever they were, you know what I mean? I'm just, the spirit of it is the issue I have with. I really enjoy that you guys did the infrastructure, the drive for doing the advertising. Just that one banner for me personally was kind of a miss, if that kind of makes sense. Like, I really like the direction you're going and your future banners, but that one banner, I'm not for it. I don't really like paying for it now. And it didn't get approved. Sure, it did not get denied because there was no lack of second, but it did not get approved to get paid for. But you still brought it up. So it's kind of like it did get denied in a roundabout way because it didn't get approved.
But we didn't ask you to approve the content of what we put up,
Right, because you just wanted the money for it.
right?
And,
Yes,
and there's been no complaints about the way the sign looks.
sure. Yeah, I guess that's just where I'd be. So I would make a amendment to just subtract, a dollar amount wasn't stated in the previous one. We'll just assume that it was the entire amount,
Mm.
right?
Yep.
Just to subtract $253 from the total amount. And if there's a second, if not, it'll die for like a second.
All right, I'll second it.
Okay, it's been motioned, seconded. So with that, I guess, is there any further discussion on our amendment onto the greater motion? So they would still be receiving, sorry, math,
I was gonna say.
like 52, 46, 13, I think.
I'm gonna double check our math here.
Well, if we had that extra 250, we could buy a different sign. If our full request was
Mm.
accepted.
Correct.
It's 55 though, right? So let me see.
I guess this one thing, I don't know, if this is a big deal or not, but just, the precedence of paying for something after, I think in the past, a lot of times a guy, you're gonna pay for it knowing the price beforehand, I guess, before the thing's done. You know, it's kind of the only thing, I don't know, did we know the price before it went through, before it got constructed and done, That's my thing,
The actual cost, you mean?
yeah. So that's my,
So did it increase from what was like proposed from before?
It's about double, I think, from what was initially asked for, but you guys are planning to cover some of it yourself, I believe.
Yeah,
So
well,
maybe that's what it was.
and I believe you're the one that last time said, well, if it included reimbursing for the cost of the materials, you would have been in favor of it from that last meeting, so that's why we thought, you know, cause we did put our own money into it and we thought we would get reimbursed for that. You know, I think the work was already done at that time, so it's not that the work has increased.
Right.
And I do agree with what you're saying, Jamie, with like the kind of coming forward after. But just personally, I'm willing to kind of overlook that in this instance because they built some infrastructure. They built some
They're
good
improving.
quality infrastructure that improves and it has usefulness, it can promote the town. So just personally, I'd be willing to overlook it, but for the banner itself that we previously did not approve, but it was not denied, you're right. I just would not want to pay for that one portion of it.
And that was due what again? What was that again?
I'm sorry?
What was that due to again?
Basically at our last meeting, they brought it up. There was some AI images that were kind of a little bit thrown together and I just
Oh, okay.
personally just had, if we're trying to advertise locally, we should hire a local photographer or
Gotcha,
we just
okay.
have lots of local talent, lots of even
The
local
actual,
printers
right, the actual.
that could have been involved in that. So it's just kind of, you know, advertising local economy without using local economy kind of misses for me, I guess. But,
Okay.
yeah,
I have a question.
sure.
So have you went up there to look at the banner?
Not like up close in the grass, but I've driven by it, yeah.
So do you see any imperfections?
No, but, I mean, no, because you're driving it almost like slightly below highway speeds. I mean, it's hard to read, honestly, because of the text, and that's another reason to hire a designer that knows what they're doing with, like, readability at certain lengths and distances and that sort of stuff. So it's hard to read and hard to look at, so yeah, you don't notice anything from the highway. You're right.
Yeah, and we didn't order that just to spite you guys, we just ordered it because it was already designed and we wanted to get something up there before winter hit.
Oh,
No, for
So,
sure.
Okay.
that's why we did it, it wasn't that we thought, well, if you guys don't like it tough, we
I
just
honestly
wanted to
Yeah.
get
I
something
must
up
be
there.
blind, 'cause I don't drive by there that much, and I need to actually go take a trip.
Yeah.
Apparently,
So,
around that way.
and then one thing we did do with that banner is we had them put the rivets,
Grommets.
grommets
Ah, okay.
on there, which really helped in hanging it and stretching it out. And that was a learning curve that we learned by putting up this other banner, and all of our future banners will have the grommets as well for supporting and stretching it out. Because the first one that was put up to promote downtown businesses, and that banner was donated. Didn't have the grommets, and we had 4 people up there trying to stretch it out and everything, and we had to move it a couple times, so we're kinda glad that we did this, so that way,
Sorry, go ahead. Would that fall under the 129 for supplies and materials to hang the banner last fall, though? Because all I'm taking off there is just the outdoor promotion banner itself, not the infrastructure. So I'm not taking away that amount at all.
The banner itself had grommets in it.
What are you saying, there's extra comments or something?
no,
The
No.
Yeah, the first one didn't have any grommets.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
gotcha,
So it made it
this one
harder to hang.
did, so we
made it
learned
harder
that,
to hang.
yeah.
sure.
If you have something that big, it's pretty hard to hang it without grommets. That would be hard.
Correct.
So he's just stating it for the fact of, when they installed it, that it was much better to spend the money for that, right?
Yeah. And then when we came to install the border for it, I personally put that up myself, so we didn't have to hire anybody to do
So is the picture that he's talking about still up there? The one that you guys, from whatever
The
you
first,
used?
the
Yeah.
first banner.
It's the Get Outdoors Washburn
Yeah.
one. It's got
I mean, it wasn't
different
part of it,
pictures.
but I guess, I mean, moving forward, maybe, I mean, if you're gonna promote the town of Washburn and whatnot, maybe going forward, we're gonna use local
That's-
pictures.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what
going
he was
forward.
saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And I mean, I like that you guys are doing it, cause I mean, it's good, you promote the
So-
town and
Can I ask the question?
we gotta work together to
Yeah.
Mhm.
do that, so.
Can I ask the question, how long we've had them? Have they always been there?
The signs?
Like, no,
The-
the billboard and everything else out there
I
ready
think
for-
they must have got put up in the 1980s, so
Okay.
they
They've
haven't been,
Same place,
yeah, they haven't been fixed and updated.
not really updated, okay.
No.
The one actually, like he said,
It
it
was leaning.
had no, it had a hole in the
Oh.
middle. There was piece
A
here,
piece.
piece there, and
Yeah.
that was one like the one down by RDO that
Oh,
has
okay.
the basketball
Okay.
championships.
Yeah.
That was on there originally. And then the other one had a couple things that were just kind of peeling away. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what exactly.
It
Yeah,
was
we-
time to help.
It was
Yeah.
time to replace all the,
Or
plywood, and then we had 2 posts that were cracked that we replaced on the bigger billboard, and I think there was at least 2 posts changed out on the smaller one. They got hit by lawnmowers and everything.
Well, we
And the wind.
And the wind. North Dakota.
So I guess just to keep us on task here, maybe we should specifically discuss the amendment. If anyone has any opinions on the amendment, then we'll follow further discussion once we move either with the motion amended or with it not amended back to the original motion. So I guess any more discussion on the amendment itself, which is basically just subtracting about $250 from it. Any more discussion? If not, we'll move on to a vote.
I can accept that. That's, I'll be the second to your amendment. Is that
Oh,
right?
Brandon.
Did Brandon already? Okay, gotcha, sorry.
Okay, any further discussion? We'll do a vote, starting with Brandon.
Yes.
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 Okay, motion carries. It is now an amended motion, which if we could just have that read, just the new amount. I said 523613. I could be wrong.
524613 is the correct amount.
That's not what I said, but we'll pretend like it was. But
Okay.
thank you. That
I
sounds
thought
good
that's
to
what
me.
you said, yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're taking out the 25387,
Mhm.
so the total amount would be the $5,246.13.
Oh, yeah, I had 3 instead of 4. Perfect. Okay, so that is the current motion that's been amended. Any further discussion on that? Which now opens it up to anything with the work done on it, anything like that. If not, we can move on to a vote.
So tell me what's the new banner? Do we have it decided?
Well, we're talking about one for the Clint Hill Memorial.
Oh, okay.
And
The new
more
memorial.
generic, not just saying when the dedication is, just visit Clint Hill Memorial downtown. And you said
And
that they're
Riverboat.
getting us pictures
Yeah.
to put up there. We'll have the leader news,
Cool.
use pictures and then, yeah, something for Riverboat Days.
Mm.
Cool. That's awesome.
And I mean, just to say, this is a great use of this tax that's gone unused. So thanks for being creative in that, for sure.
Okay. That was my only question. I was just curious.
Okay. Further discussion. Not hearing any, we'll move on to a vote.
Yes.
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 And I'm abstaining.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. All right, we're gonna move on. The NRG quote.
Do you want it?
You just want me to do it?
Go for it.
Okay, so Energy is like our IT tech company. It kind of does some of our computer stuff for the city. As you all probably know, we have a Washburn.com or WashburnND.com
Yes.
website. Several years ago, we registered a WashburnND.gov domain, intending to transfer stuff over. For one reason or another, it kind of got left behind. We kind of revisited that with NRG here within the last couple of weeks. And they put forward a proposal to migrate our current domain into the new .gov, plus our previous emails through the .com domain to the new .gov emails. And to piggyback on that, we also talked to them about, we have a server in the back room that the office computers connect to like share data and stuff. It's a bit overkill for two, 3 computers. just to have one server for 3 computers. So what they proposed to us was to move all that info in the cloud, or in the server to the cloud. So in the long run, we save money on replacement costs of the server and stuff like that. Everything would just be accessible through the cloud. So the quote also includes their cost to migrate that data to the server and to set up the computers with access to the cloud. Kind of tie it all together, I guess. So it's kind of two different. It's a quote for 2 different things altogether. The website and email migration to the .gov, and then just the way we do server work from on-site to the cloud. If there's any questions, I could probably answer them.
I do have one. How is it protected? What do we use?
Which, the server?
Security, yes.
Well, it's the cloud stuff's protected on the company side, so
But from hacking and things like that?
yeah.
.gov gives us an extra layer
Well,
of
this-
security too.
Yeah, but the
VPNs are not used or anything like that? No?
virtual networks,
For
VPNs.
for protecting, it changes the IP addresses, rotates it so you can't be tracked and hacked.
Not necessarily. You're talking about the server itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wondering if we can consider that.
It's not really a concern. These guys are a security company, so they've got it taken care of. Let me just say that.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so they will cover if
Yes.
there's a compromising, okay.
Yeah.
And it'd probably be safer because it's in their little nest.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Instead of
Well,
Yeah.
It's,
over.
theirs versus
Yeah.
them hacking.
that's a
that
valid
last year.
concern, you know, I think.
But to be clear, they take care of ours, right?
Yes.
Which was another thing, because we see this new monthly fee, but it's actually less than a monthly fee we're already paying.
It
Just
will
make
be
that
reduced
clear.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So just to make that clear, as you look at this, like, oh, monthly fee, it's like actually less than what we already.
Yeah, it's the setup cost that is costing us the money.
okay.
Which, we save it over time, but it is an upfront fee, so.
That is an estimate too, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That is
I
the
mean,
maximum
that's a
amount
maximum.
that they would charge us.
Okay,
If it goes over the amount of hours that they're thinking, they won't charge us more. If it goes under, they'll charge us less.
Yes.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any more discussion? Not hearing any. Brandon?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
yes.
And yes. All right, now we're gonna move on to, number 11, BMS pay.
So I did a webinar with these guys a while back. Prior to us, when we got Black Mountain Software and switched over, they did not have their own BMS pay. This is fairly new, so we went with a third party where you can go online and pay your bills. So unfortunately, if we do switch over, you'll have to set up all new accounts, but we'll get there. It's the same thing of what we have now, but it's integrated into our software we have. So we will be able to offer more online payments instead of we're limited right now to just like web pay for your utility billing, online payments, or building permits, I believe you can pay on there. So it opens it up for a wide range, and then it integrates with our accounting system that we have now, where it automatically posts the stuff instead of us having to go and take some of those and bring them over so that they post in there manually.
Gotcha.
Yep. So it'll save some of that, and our
Time.
monthly fee decreases for that as well. This will be paid annually instead. Currently, we pay monthly. That is the Valley statements that I provided for you guys to look at too. So that's roughly between, like, right around $115 a month. If you break this down by 12, it'll be $105 a month. And it's all within then our software we use for accounting, utility billing, everything else, our budgeting, it all integrates into the same.
And to do that previously, did you, like, an employee would need to, like, transfer that over, or would it
Mhm.
just, so that would save labor costs as
It
well?
does, save,
Yeah.
yeah, your time.
So what's the downside?
I'm not sure. Switching everything over,
Okay.
and that would be then all new accounts would have to be set up for, so people that have logged in currently now and just have it like automatically withdrawn from their account online, we'd have to reset that all back up. They would, we can't do it, obviously we can't know your passwords, that's gonna be the downfall.
Could there be like, could this be a very slow process?
It probably could, where, yeah, it doesn't, we don't automatically just cancel that, so people aren't missing.
You know, yeah, you know what I'm
they're-
saying,
Right.
like, someone's
So
not
we can
back
get
from
it out
Phoenix
there.
yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
by the way, last month we did this now,
Yeah.
yes, that would be good, I think.
And this is the yearly fee, it will be prorated whenever we do get it up and running, it will probably take, a little bit for them to get everything on their side too. So that will be prorated, but that will be the yearly cost then going forward, is that 1,260.
So basically, the downside is that people could get their water bills missed, so there should be good notification.
Yes,
with
yes, yep.
So it's just personally, like what, 3 months, put it out 3 months?
Yeah, and
Like,
I'll
we
have
could
to
send a letter or something,
see
I
what
don't know.
their time frame is too, to get that all set up on their
For the
end.
Water bill. No,
And
they
then-
don't receive a water bill. Do they get an electronic message?
You can add it in an email if they receive their bill, if their bill is emailed to them, yes.
Could we do that for like 3 months before
Yeah, we can
switch?
get it out there, yes.
Do you guys have any opinion? 3 months sound good enough?
Sounds great.
I motion approved to move it in 3 months and to accept this as written, move away from, what's the other one called?
Valley,
Move away from Valley to BMS pay for our water billing. And also make it a special priority in this motion to notify residents at least once a month for the next 3 months via email or on physical water bills.
And both, I mean.
End of the motion. I guess, I don't know.
I'll second that motion. Is there any more discussion?
The water, just to be clear, the obviously emails won't cost us anything extra and the water bills won't cost us anything extra.
no, water bills will still all be done the same.
I mean to do the message I was talking about.
Oh, no, there's a spot on there that we
And
can,
then emails is free.
yeah, well, we get charged for some of the emails, but that's all included in that monthly cost that we currently have through that company already.
Okay.
That's why it kind of fluctuates with how many they go, but,
Gotcha, okay.
that'll all. But messages are not added, or not extra, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, and it'll save us like $45 a month, which doesn't seem like that much, but
No, but
It
that's,
helps.
that's
it's
good.
still other things, yeah. The labor costs and everything else we talked about. Yeah.
Any more discussion? If not, Brandon?
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mark Creed, I have a question. Are the residents gonna have to resubmit like how we did to BMS, the same way we did with whatever company it is, to get the water bill paid now?
Yes, I do believe so. You'll have to create an online account again.
Okay.
Oh, actually, is there, so if someone does not create a online account, would there be a way to tell that and they'll just get a physical water bill? Like there won't be like a dead zone of like, no water bill.
I don't know who pays it online and who pays it. If they get their bill emailed to them or physically mailed to them, I don't know how they have their account set up, I guess, because you have to do that on your own. I guess there's a report I could pull every month to see who does pay it. But they're still gonna receive their bill, it's just that you have to log in
Okay.
and make
Sorry.
sure, some people just have it automatically taken out every single month on the 15th of the month.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to create a new account with BMS Pay instead of it going through Valley, because we won't be using them anymore.
Okay,
Who's
thank
gonna
you.
do that? That's my whole question, because it's gonna be on us to make a new account or to authorize to have an automatic pay like how I am right now.
Would you really
So
want
how
us
is that
doing
gonna
that?
affect me? What am I gonna do?
I'm
You have to
saying,
create a new
would you?
account.
You'll have to create a new account.
So I gotta come down here to do it?
Nope, you
No.
just go online, it'll still
Yeah, here
be,
we go. I don't like online.
you can have an ACH and come fill it out here, and then you don't have to have an online account.
That's true,
That was
that's
just
true.
That was just my question.
Yeah,
So
we
That's
have-
another
down,
way.
I was told no,
Yep.
so, okay, I was confused.
So there's multiple
You have to,
ways.
if you want to pay it ACH and have the city do it, we have a form you can fill out
That's
That will
all I-
take
that's
all
all
your
I-
banking information, and the second Tuesday of every month, they are pulled out. You
That's all
will
I
not
need to
have
know.
to go online to create an account. It's
That's
for
all I
those that are currently paying online that use it.
Well, those people, Dan Langen, with those people that are paying online, do they have to cancel their whatever subscription or whatever to Valley or whatever?
You-
So that they don't get, I don't know, double charged or whatever?
You could for your own protection, but it's not going to be integrated to them anymore.
Okay.
So it won't be sent to, when we do our water bills, it won't get uploaded to that third party anymore.
Gotcha.
Do we just request that they delete the database? Or all that customer information?
Yeah.
And that would just take care of that issue.
That-
entirely.
That would take care of that.
I don't feel
That's a good idea.
okay, but I mean, that was a question for you guys.
Any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, thank you. All right, number 12, public sewer backup and water main break endorsement. Chelsea, you wanna talk about this?
Yep, you guys were provided the coverage endorsement from NADERF, and I sent you a email from Jesse explaining that a little more clear without all the lingo of insurance. It just provides an extra line of protection for the city.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 And yes. All right. Number 13, Arbor Day proclamation for 2026.
This Arbor Day proclamation needs to be accepted and signed for the Forestry Board to receive their tree grant that they have been getting every single year.
Okay.
I guess I can read it. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas the holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil, buy wind and water, lower our heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore I, Mark Lelm, Commission President of the City of Washburn, do hereby proclaim April 24th, 2026 as Arbor Day in the City of Washburn. And I urge all residents or citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I urge all citizens to plant and care for trees, to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. So we'll need a motion and a second to accept that.
Motion to accept the Arbor Day proclamation.
And I will second.
Any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 And yes. Okay, and move on to number 14, National Crime Victims' Right Week Proclamation 2026. So, the McLean County Resource Center brought up this proclamation that was done. Chelsea, you remember approximately about when? I think Mr. Olberg was the mayor at the time.
No, I can't remember which one. It was very old.
Okay. So anyways,
1992, maybe?
yeah, something like that. Do we wanna read this, or
45th anniversary, is that correct?
approximately, yes?
Okay.
I will make a motion to approve this for the National Crime Victims' Right Week proclamation. Is there any, can we put that on our webpage for the month of April?
Sure.
So, and to provide this for the month of April. So the week is April 19th to April 25th. That's my motion.
Second.
Any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. Okay, sewer jetter price. Were you listening, Adam?
Should we read it or no? Should we read that or no?
Well, we're gonna post it on our webpage.
Oh, okay, sorry. I just think
That's
about
why I
it.
thought,
Okay.
well, we won't read it that way.
Nope, that works, okay.
We'll make everyone look at it and read it.
Perfect. Sorry, continue.
So from our auctions, the sewer jetter did not, get a bid, so it, so I guess we gotta decide what to do next. I just suggest we relist it with a lower starting price, see where it ends.
The listing did receive over 3,000 views. They can see that, those are not double views, that was all single people. But she said that starting point was just way too high. People, when they see that, I mean, it can get to that, but starting it at that was just way too high for people to bid on. After it did close, we did receive 2 separate bids come in. One person offered 500, one person offered 1,500. If you were interested in accepting those, I think it would be best probably just to relist it.
Mhm.
What's it currently listed at?
It was at 3,000.
Okay, 1,500, start half and then, I don't know the most about
I
auctions.
think that's a good idea, yeah.
I don't know.
I think it doesn't matter what you started at, you start at $1, it's gonna sell for what it's worth, what people are willing to pay for in
We
the end.
can put a restriction on there that it cannot sell for anything less than 3,000 if that's the price that you guys are set on.
I would not suggest doing that.
Um,
We're just not gonna sell it
for
again.
whatever it sells
But
Yeah.
the lady that I talked to from her public surplus, she just said that she sees it a lot when people don't, not to say that we wouldn't get that, but she said starting it at that is just way too high. She said 500 to 1,000 would be a good starting point. That's, I mean, I suppose what she sees on her end.
Make a motion to start at 500.
A second.
Okay. Is there any, is there discussion? Not hearing any, Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, 16, hiring of part-time tarring help.
We will be tarring in June. We are looking to hire 2 people again? 3 part-time?
We're not entirely sure if we'd hire 3 or not, but we'd like to be approved for 3, just in case. When we tar, and well, we're also masticing, I guess, this year. We like to hit it as hard and fast as we can, just get it done. We don't like to linger around for a whole month and become a pain point that everybody sees for a long period of time. We just like to go for 2 weeks and be done, so the more people that we have, the better, in that case.
So you're gonna have probably a crew that's tarring and a crew that's masking?
No, those machines are coming at different times. A crew would be blowing out cracks, and a crew would be doing the tarring or the masking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you piggyback and you just be,
Yeah, one follows the other.
okay.
So it'd be 5 people total then? Two people blowing out and 3 people tarring?
Well, it'd be 5 or 6, depending, but we'll probably go with 2, but we just in case, we'd like to be approved for another one. That, especially when you talk about the number of people, in case somebody can't be gone, then we can sub somebody in, something like that.
And do we have a wage that we can list?
I don't know, what did we pay last year? We have people, the people that worked for us last year.
Yeah, they've done it the last 2 years for us. Were they at 16 or 18?
I don't know what it was.
Was it that low? I thought it was like 20.
I thought it was
Was it
20 as
20?
well,
I thought it
but
was
I
like
don't know.
22 almost, I don't know.
It was
It's been-
20,
it's
I
been a long
bet.
time. Was it 20?
Yeah,
I think it was.
I was gonna look it up before this meeting too, I didn't have time.
I guess we just say the previous year's wage or whatever, something like that.
Yeah, whatever you guys feel suitable.
Or more.
I'll make a motion that we try to hire 3 if needed for tarring help at the last wage that we advertise for.
And that will be advertised in the Leader News.
I don't think we'd advertise it.
How did we do it?
Sorry, read one.
I second your motion.
Go ahead. So now we have a second, go
Oh,
ahead.
there we go, yeah. I don't know how, I don't know the legalities of it, but we've just been using the same people every year, I guess.
Yeah, they just have came back every year, I guess, to help tar.
So I will second that.
Brandon did.
Oh, you did, okay.
That's okay.
Just wasn't sure if it was actually.
Is there any more discussion?
The only thing I'd ask is just if there's, and I know people have got vacations and stuff lined up, is just can we, if we're gonna get those 3 people, can we avoid vacation times and getting those people? I mean,
Well, they only work when we're tarring. Like they don't, you know, if something happens and we can't tar for a few days, they're not sitting around, they just don't work.
no, I'm saying full-time employees, avoiding, you know, like we get them in and then our full-time people are on vacation, right? So that's all I'm saying.
Well, we work around the schedule we have, you know.
I guess Jamie and we talked about this. We need to try to avoid vacation times when we start this tarring project, so there's no lull. I mean, if we're gonna try to hammer out this, we need kind of a full crew to,
Right, get after it, so.
because last year, I think we stopped tarring for like a week because somebody was on vacation.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
It rained for
Yeah, it was
3 days,
the rain,
so that I
it's
know that we
possible,
had to
but
take a break,
I
but,
don't think we,
I mean, for
That's what I was
the
told.
most part,
But anyways,
the 2 weeks that we're looking at, there shouldn't be an issue with
Okay.
vacations.
just
that are
something,
Currently scheduled.
I think Jamie wanted to bring up that,
Yeah, it's just,
that we just. wanted-
economic wise, just to pay somebody to go on vacation and get another X amount of guys
Yeah.
may not look the best.
well, it's just,
So-
yeah, if
Yeah.
one of the people that work for us was going on vacation, we wouldn't tar that at that time, you know? So we wouldn't replace a full-time person with a temp,
Mhm.
I guess is what I'm saying, so, I mean, there's no loss either way.
But I guess it's renting the machine and then now the machine sits,
We get,
sits for. a
we get
period
the
of
machine
time.
for a month, whether we use it for a month or not, we don't plan to and we don't want to. We wanna use it for 2 weeks and be done. Yeah. So it has built-in space,
Okay,
it's kinda the benefit of the agreement that we have.
So the race to tar is a real thing.
Okay.
Oh, it certainly is, yeah.
okay, to get back on track, any more discussion? This is for hiring 3 temporary. Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. All right, the DRIC grant,
Okay, I had, Eric, if you wanna come up too, you can. I sent out an email on this for you guys to review prior to coming here. There will be more meetings to come. Really, the bulk of it tonight, what needs to be discussed is about a year and a half ago, the city of Washburn was approved for a brick grant that would help us receive funding to be able to tie into the intake that is south of town, to run the line all the way through here. We know Washburn needs help with our intake. that federal funding was put on hold, and now it is back on saying that they cannot suspend this federal grant. So we received an email. Basically, we need to decide if the city of Washburn wants to continue pursuing this as an option or not. I don't know that all the logistics are out there. I don't know if we're receiving the same exact amount of funding. The project cost, I'm sure, has been different, but they need the okay that Washburn's still interested in this to pursue looking at new numbers and working on running the line from the intake out there into ours.
What's it cost to continue to look at it? Anything?
No, and we are not bound by it. We can still back out if the numbers are not favorable for the city, but I don't know. Did Todd ever get back to you?
No, his last, so you're talking about Todd Jors, he's
Yeah.
the guy from the North Dakota Department of Emergency Services. The DES is a state agency that administers FEMA funding. And his last email to communication was they have to submit an RFI or a request for information to the entities that applied for this, and I believe it was Burn Associates provided that benefit cost analysis in the application for the grant. So that is what we're waiting for, is that's the next step, is to hear from Todd. And then at that point, as long as the city is still on board, what we would essentially look for is the city wants to still keep going down that road, is number one. And then they would have to look at the benefit cost analysis again and the cost estimate for the project again to ensure that the BCA still makes sense, and then that the grant could go forward, so.
What are the commissioners' thoughts? Should we still take it in consideration until we see
I mean, it doesn't
actual?
really hurt, I mean, I don't see any downside of it, do
There
you guys?
isn't, there isn't really, I don't think. I haven't found one yet. So,
Somebody wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we continue looking at this.
Okay,
and I'll
Rick.
second that.
all right. Is there any more discussion?
I don't wanna make this longer than it needs to be. If I remember correctly, we basically did not wanna do this project, was kind of our last talking about it, because they were sending this contract to us of like, we have all this stuff, you gotta get your buy-in, and with that buy-in, you don't get it back, and even if it happens, they could just drop the ball and just stuff like that, right? That was the last time this was touched.
So yeah, the city did sign the memorandum of commitment.
Yes, that thing. Yep.
We are just not into that yet, where we are paying a monthly premium like some other cities who have committed are.
So they're already paying a monthly premium.
Some of them are, yes.
Some that
Good
are,
thing we got that off there, cause it's off there,
Yeah,
correct?
the city is not paying. Now, that whole thing would have to be looked at too, like if we're gonna pursue this, when does the city have to make a decision? When do their monthly fees start coming? Or, I mean, but we were approved for the brick grant, which would help run the pipe all the way here, and that's then where it got halted. So we never got to that point of, yes, we're going to go ahead with this. No, we're not, because that's right after that funding got received is kind of when it all stopped.
And we don't, no longer have that funding, that got.
that's what we're saying, is that funding is now potentially coming back.
Yes.
So with the
back.
change of the last administration, that there was a freeze put on
Yeah.
federal funding for a lot of different funding agencies like FEMA and the SRF program and so on and so forth. And there was lawsuits that ensued after that. And essentially the courts compelled the administration to reinstate that FEMA funding that was put on freeze, essentially. So that's where this is coming back in. And what the state agency with DES has said is that this, as long as the city is still interested in looking into this project, that should go right back to where we left off. But like Chelsea and I were both saying, the cost estimate for that said project, since that was a year and a half ago, would have to be updated, and the benefit cost analysis would have to be reran with those numbers to make sure that it would still work out correctly. And if that does, then it would look like the FEMA grant would come to the city. But then you'd have to look at, again, like those, what the costs for the whole project are, right? So to see, cause there would still be costs to the city at that time. So that's where, when we got to that point, then the city would have to decide if that was a project they would wanna pursue. So just to back up a little bit, and it's more than a decade of backing up. The city of Washburn's had issues with their intake on and off again over the years, right? Cause we have a surface water intake in town here that has problems with the Missouri River, cause there's always a migration of where the river channel is, sandbars move, so on and so forth. That's why we started looking at a new intake in the first place, way back in 2013, 2014 timeframe. The project, for various reasons, didn't go forward during those times when the city was looking at building their own intake. And then with the Red River Valley Water Supply Project, which is what that very large intake is, about 7 miles downriver from here, that was supposed to supply that water supply to the east side of the state. So the cities of Fargo and Grand Forks are your main benefactors, main users of this project. This line to Washburn would just be a very small piece of it. And then, so there's various groups interested in that. The more people that would be on this project, the better it is for everybody, right? And then Washburn's interest would be having an alternate water supply for their own intake if it would have issues at some point in time down the line, which it has on and off again. So that's a little bit of background, but there was a lot of changes in different parts of that project that happened on and off again. There was a point in time where they were looking at a line from that intake to go up to the Blue Flint ethanol plant in Rainbow Energy. That project started and stopped too because there was a different agreement that was reached there for water supply for them. So, and then now that this FEMA grant was there and then it went away and now it's back again. So that's why, to a little bit explain why the time and how long this has been. So at this point, if the city is interested in doing it, that like I said, I think that's a good thing because then it just makes us go back to the drawing board to see if there's potential of getting that alternate water supply for the city.
So technically, the downside would not happen until after evaluations are done again. Then we
Yeah,
can find our
like I said,
downsides.
the RFI has to be submitted from DES, and then they'd have to look at the cost estimate and the cost benefit analysis to see if it's still feasible to go forward, and then the city would have to look at going beyond that memorandum of commitment, which is the last thing that you guys said that you would do, that you would commit to the project. But nothing's been, the city hasn't incurred any cost at this point. So it doesn't hurt to gather more information to see if more funding can come available.
A reevaluation, is it possible to have, like, if we approve this and go ahead with this, would we have that possibly by next month? So we could know more about this?
I mean, I think we could potentially have the RFI by next month,
Okay.
but this is not gonna be something that's like moving like super
Okay.
quickly.
So this is like, we got
That'd be a
time.
very long
Any
time.
word on the overall project?
What I know is that another intake is being built on McCluskey Canal. And from what I understand, that is the main water supply for the Red River Valley Water Supply Project now at this point. Because it saved them like 30 miles of pipeline. And it's a very large pipe for this project. So you can imagine that saves quite a bit of money if you can pull water from the far end of the McCluskey Canal, not the far end, but near McCluskey versus out of the river here south of Washburn, right? So that project is still moving full speed. You know, they're working on the intake. They have the outfall already by Cooperstown, just over by Lake Ashtabula.
Okay.
Because this water is being pushed to Lake Ashtabula, which is the Cheyenne River, which will supply the Red River Valley, the Red River, which supplies Fargo and Grand Forks.
Okay.
So, and then they built multiple sections of this pipeline already now too, near the Carrington area.
Yeah.
So that's what I know about the project.
If they're coming out over there, why would they need this one south of town?
Because initially they were not approved to be able to build an intake on the McCluskey Canal, but throughout the process of this project, that became something that was approved for them
Wouldn't
to
that
do.
make this one south of town a dead horse then, if they can take out from there?
If all the more reason that there's a lot of interest by various groups to make sure that we want to be able to see that this can be used and throughout in the future there could be a lot of uses for that intake and if it can be used to supply Washburn or other groups such as the ones we talked about already, that would be great if they could utilize it, right? So
if they're doing the intake over there, and that's going to them,
So it's my understanding that this is their backup.
okay.
My understanding is their plan is still to connect it to the plant that's going up. But to mostly use, if they can, the water off of the canal.
it's a lot less pumping costs and everything and a lot less.
Because the only reason this got built is because they kind of got shut down from pulling off the canal in the first place, didn't they? And then they started this?
It's complicated.
It is a very complicated process and I don't want to
Get into it.
speak officially on it because it's not my project and I don't know everything that's going on with it, so. But there's been that's been a project with many steps back and forth too, so. And you got many different agencies, government agencies involved at the state, federal levels, so.
FEMA.
I guess I'll just say one thing and then I'll leave it alone. So just my kind of perspective on this, basically they're trying to get a bunch of water out east, have a bunch of people buy into it, so it looks like an attractive project. I'm kind of on my way out, so for those who are gonna be here, just approach this project like a very shy kid getting in a very cooled pool, because you wanna be very careful with contracts, don't be afraid to negotiate, and it could end up where you sign something, you pay for something, and there's no refund, there's nothing like that, and they move it way over there, right? Like if it's in the clause, if it's in that sort of thing, you could possibly lose some money here.
Yeah, I mean, if the city was to go forward with this project, there would be guarantees in any contract the city would sign that would say that pipeline would have to be maintained and that intake would have to be maintained. You would never get into a contract to have a water supply and not have some guarantees on said water supply being able to work out for you, yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was, but we had to negotiate to somewhere around that point, because it was kind of some funky monkey stuff before that, where it was like, whoa, what's this contract? Sorry, it's almost been like, what, a year and a half?
Yeah.
So just, all I'm trying to say, we don't have to get into the specifics of that, just be careful, read that nice and thorough, is all I'm gonna say.
And then that'll cost some money too, to get the cost analysis, that's not free, right? I mean,
That wasn't a cost to the city last time.
It wasn't?
No.
So.
No, that was not a cost to the city last time.
And they said they would go ahead and work on updating those if they got the approval from our commission that we were still looking at pursuing that. Because the spreadsheet that I had sent you guys was still based on all 2023 numbers, so we know those are inaccurate.
And the cost analysis, just to say, okay, we're gonna stay in it, this will cost us nothing and obligates us to nothing, right? Is that where we're at?
At this time.
So.
And this current thing tonight is just for the grant, not even for the agreement, not even for the other players,
Correct.
right? So
It's
that's
just to move forward.
Just showing them that
Yes.
you're interested in this grant, yeah.
Yes.
Which I think would be a good idea. You'd like to have that option.
So far, I don't see any downsides.
No.
For the grant, yep, no
Because if
problem.
there is hidden costs, that would be a good time to kind of understand that, which is what you're trying to say, right? Hidden costs?
And when I reach back out to Mayor Mahoney, I can make that's a clear concern too and get that reiterated from him for you too. So.
Okay, sure, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on with the vote. Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right, 18, resolution for 2026 street and drain project.
There's a folder in there, it says 2026 street and drainage improvement. Folder, they're all in there. Thank you.
So, Eric, you wanna talk about this?
I'm gonna let Chelsea actually
Oh,
talk about this one.
Chelsea.
Adam's
Okay.
grabbing her stuff.
Got talked out of after our 2-hour meeting.
Well, she's got this. I'll back her up.
Okay, so there are a few resolutions that we need to accept if we are going to pursue any further with our street and drainage project over in Heritage Heights. So we do have these separated out, for drainage improvement district and the street improvement district. We have a resolution creating Washburn Street Improvement District number 2026-1 and directing preparation of a report and cost estimate. Do you have to read these all, Eric?
I don't think you have to, if you can summarize what
Okay,
each
good.
one of them is, and they all got a copy of them.
Okay, so the street improvement district will just create, basically like we did the last time, stating what the project district is going to be. It will include the size, the form, which all properties within which judgment of the governing body after consultation with the engineer. And it'll lay out all the lots, tracts, parcels of the land lying within the corporate limits of the city of Washburn. That is the bulk of the resolution creating said district. And that will then be known as the project area going forward for this project.
And we're creating a district for the street improvements and a district for the drainage improvements. So you'll see,
Yes.
you'll
That's
see
what
two, you'll see two of those, yeah.
In this district, for like, say, the streets, that includes those, alternates, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, it's including, the district would apply to anything that the city would agree to go forward with for construction. So we have the main project, which is in Heritage Heights, and then the alternates was like Rough Rider Road, Meadow Drive, and First Street. So, you know, if the city goes forward to bidding at some point in time, and they only select alternate one, then it would just be the base bid in alternate one, and it wouldn't have the cost of the other stuff. But the assessment district would still be the same, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So the street and drainage, assessment district would be citywide, is what that first one's saying.
I'll make a motion to approve the street improvement district 2026-1.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Did you just say that was gonna be citywide, this district, or
Yeah.
just an area?
The street improvements typically are citywide assessments,
And the drainage, right?
and the drainage, yeah.
So those are all the same in
Yeah.
all three deals, right?
Two deals, so two districts.
Yeah, but
The
you got-
districts are the
Three
same, but for
areas.
two different projects.
got two different projects, but I didn't know if you had three different locations
Scopes.
or.
Okay, so I guess to back up, so the location is Heritage Heights.
Yep.
So the primary roads in Heritage Heights is like Custer and Heritage Drive, right?
Yep.
Rough Rider Drive is alternate one. Rough Rider Drive is right up there in
Right,
Heritage
but
Heights as well.
all these are all citywide.
Yes.
All of them.
Yep. The base bid of the project, the base project, and any alternates are all, the assessment district will be the
Okay.
same. Yeah, it'd be citywide, yep.
Sorry not to be picky or whatever, but we're trying to improve our motions. Do we need to specify that it's citywide? Because you have that in a little sub-bullet here. Is that, do we need, because I'm not saying on this specific thing. that it says
So
anywhere
you're looking at the,
citywide.
you're looking at the engineer report. So
Right.
the resolution,
The resolution creating the street improvement district says that the Washburn Street Improvement District number 2026-1 shall include all lots, tracts, and parcels of land lying within the corporate limits of the city of Washburn, North Dakota.
Perfect.
you have
Okay.
a copy of the resolution. What I printed out for you guys was just the engineer report.
And I didn't receive those until today, so they might not be on.
No, and that's fine, I apologize, he used the same numbers, but that is the same numbers, so I started looking at this, and I was like, okay, I just wanna make sure that we have something that's citywide, and if it's
Yeah.
citywide,
Okay.
great. I just wanted to make sure, cause there's a little bullet literally right there that
Yep.
says that it needs to be citywide. I was like, well, we should probably do that then.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, in the resolution here creating it, it does say that it's,
Fabulous, thank you.
Do I need to change my motion?
No.
Okay. Is there a second? Oh, you
Yeah,
seconded.
Brandon seconded it, I think, or did
No,
Keith?
Keith
did.
did. Keith did.
Yeah.
Okay, is there any more
Didn't even know what it was,
discussion?
and I seconded it.
None. Hearing any, seeing any? Brandon?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
And yes.
Okay, so then we're just gonna do all three for the street improvement district and then we'll move on to the drainage district. So this resolution approving the engineer's report and directing preparation of detailed plans and specifications for the Washburn Street Improvement District. It's just saying that we have received the engineer's report as to the general nature, purpose, and feasibility of the proposed improvement in and for Washburn Street Improvement District number 2026-1. The engineer planning the improvement is hereby authorized and directed to prepare detailed plans and specifications for construction of the improvement.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? If not, Brandon?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then the resolution declaring necessary an improvement in and for Washburn Street Improvement District number. This one is a little bit lengthy. It goes into detail on how it's declared for the city to make an improvement. Citing Century Code, this does say that the Washburn Street Improvement District number 2026-1 shall include all lots, tracts, and parcels of the land lying within the corporate limits of the city of Washburn. The cost of the improvement shall be specifically assessed against the lots, tracts, and parcels of land within the district in amounts proportionate to and not exceeding the benefits derived from the improvement. The owners of the property within the district may file with the city auditor within 30 days after the first publication of this resolution, written protests against the adaptation of this resolution, which written protest must describe the property which is the subject of the protest. And then the governing body shall meet. We'll have to pick a day, because a public hearing has to be held.
So you're declaring that the work is necessary and that you will hold a public hearing on it. And if this resolution is approved tonight, then the recommendation would be to try to get it in the paper for, you can't get it in this week's, it'd be next week's, right?
I
Or
could get it in
you could
tonight,
get it
yeah.
in.
Yeah.
That would be probably better if we could. And then it's gotta be advertised for 2 consecutive weeks. So Thursday, I think, right?
Yep.
So the 16th and the 23rd. And then you could have, from this Thursday, 30 days after from this Thursday is when you could have that public hearing.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's something that you want them to look at, what date they wanna have that public hearing right now, if they're gonna vote to approve this resolution.
I think that's best, so that date
Yeah.
is set.
Will you be around for the public hearing?
I can be, yeah. I was here last time I did one too.
Sure.
So just looking at the calendar then, 30 days from the 16th. 2, 3, 4. It'd be the third week of May would be the earliest you could do it. So it'd be the week after next month's commission meeting.
Yep.
Right? I'm not sure which day of the week, whatever works for you guys for that.
Probably not a Friday, just not a Friday would keep us safe for 50% of my work schedule, so. And then also most people probably wanna get going somewhere else besides,
I would not look at doing it, if that week we're gonna do it, I would say it has to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Okay.
Going into that weekend is going to be state track and, all those end of school events, so I would look at, I think state tracks that weekend. I would look at keeping it, the beginning of the week for some of those things for conflicts for
So we
people.
could do it the following week too, if that's easier.
Yeah, I just know that's, I think the last week
Memorial
of-
Day is the 25th.
Yeah, the last week of school, so that gets pretty chaotic for some parents. If
So the
that's a
13th,
concern.
the 13th is a Wednesday?
It's gotta be.
It's gotta be the following week.
starting the 18th.
So it can be like 18, 19, 20, or you gotta look at the next week, I guess.
What works better, Monday or Tuesday, probably, for everybody?
Tuesday maybe.
I think Tuesday would be
Tuesday's not
better.
bad. Tuesday.
Okay.
What time?
Normally we do it, what, around 7 o'clock? Chelsea?
Yeah, I think we've done them at 6:30, I think. I think one was at 7,
6:30 sounds good.
What's
meet
that?
in the middle
6:30?
between, do it
6:30?
6:30. Are we going to do that here?
Yes.
Well,
Or
no,
at-
sometimes we'll go, do you think we'll have to do the
Sometimes we'll
home, or
raise
do you
a lot of
think-
interest.
Oh,
I don't
got
know.
it, okay.
I'm not sure about this
So
one.
How many
would be
people are
better.
gonna show up?
When you guys do this, are you guys going to give people a list of the rough costs to each lot at that time? So we know whether we wanna protest or not?
So no one-
That mean, special assessments would have to have something put together, wouldn't they?
Yeah, unless we just based off of the policy of 50/50. And none of those measurements would be done unless we could get them done in a month.
Do you have a full special assessment committee now?
No,
No.
we still need a person.
Right.
So that is also the other hard part. There could be something.
But bring at least an approximate, something like that?
Bring the project cost for sure, and then
Yeah,
we could get a rough estimate,
Could-
probably.
Could we
Yeah.
get one off of, like, the last project, how the last project was done? Is that pretty hard to do, or is that?
It'd be hard to be fair, right? Because
Well-
it was 2 years ago,
Yeah, and
so it'd be,
the measurements could be taken off of there. It's just creating the different formulas for the whole new project area district, so.
And that'd be a lot of
Things-
work if your whole committee said to do it a different way, too.
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
right, so the things that would change, next month, when that meeting happens, we only have estimated costs at the design level.
Mhm.
You still gotta get bid prices, right? So you can give estimates based off of
Right.
what the design cost is gonna be. You get your bids and that's gonna change everything. Also, you'd have to base the calculation for proposed assessments based off of what, Chelsea or others on the commission would say to base them off of. The special assessment committee would ultimately decide how those would be doled out. So not having a full special assessment committee kind of puts a damper on that too, but, I mean, you could give an estimate, I suppose.
Well, otherwise, how would we know whether we wanna protest it or not? You know, it's
part of-
pretty hard to protest when you don't know a rough idea, not exact, just a
a
rough
ballpark.
idea. And that's what everybody asks about, how much it's going to cost us.
Being on, Dan Langang, being on the special assessment committee, I think we should base it on how we did the last project.
Okay.
Maybe one of you other two guys wanna join that committee.
Been there, done that, somebody else wanted to do all this, so I just backed away.
Okay.
Well, we're,
Said
you can always reconsider,
me.
okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want me on there, I'd really piss people off, no, you don't wanna do that.
We just need one person, or we need two?
We need one person.
Cause it's Larry and Dan still?
And I don't
Correct,
think it
yep.
can be anybody here because that would be a conflict of interest, correct?
That is correct. That's
Yeah,
why we
so
have
we
an
can't
opening.
volunteer anymore.
So you're thinking that Tuesday at 6:30 then, the 19th? Okay. Is there anything else we had to fill out on that resolution? I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
Volunteer, but I lived in that area, so that's not fair. So that's not the way to do it.
I'll let you know a little later.
Okay.
Now we're gonna move on to the,
We need a motion and a second.
Oh, okay.
I make a motion to approve, with the public hearing date, May 19th, 6:30 PM, and what specifically am I approving? Well, to declare the work necessary motion that we just read off in brief, with the full thing available by request
And I will make
on the website.
a second to that.
any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. Now we're gonna move on to the drainage improvement. Chelsea, you wanna, is there anything to read? Or
So
clarification?
these are pretty similar to, the same one. This one is creating the drainage improvement district for 2026-1. The drainage improvements shall include all lots, tracts, and parcels of land lying within the corporate limits of the city of Washburn, North Dakota.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, I'm sorry, can I ask a quick question about this? So, this has to do with what's existing, or are we replacing all of these things in here?
So the street, this is for the drainage improvements, and the drainage improvements includes things like storm sewer.
Right.
Yep, regrading the ditch, that's along Rough Rider
Okay.
Road, and then we're looking at a detention pond on the north side of, I think it's Eighth Street.
Okay.
On the north side of city limits.
Yes.
And replacing culvert.
Yep.
Replacing culverts, adding new storm sewer, and doing a detention pond.
Gotcha.
Help manage that flow through there and the drainage issues they have.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
We have
Oh,
a motion
we
and a
have a
second, we
motion,
need to
never
vote.
Yeah.
I have a quick question though, just, this is been something that we have received grants for, is that correct?
This is not something we've got grants for.
Okay,
No,
so this is in addition to what we have.
The funding that we have approved for this project is the CWSRF funding, and then it's the Clean Water State Revolving Fund, and that's gonna fund the drainage improvements, the storm sewer and the grading and all that. The Bank of North Dakota is providing funding in the form of a loan for the street improvements. We went after grant money from the DOT, it did not get selected for it. We went after grant money from the DWR. That is not, I can't say that we were not selected for it, but what I can say is that they've had all their funding allocated for this biennium, which would mean that they would not have any funding for this project during this year.
Any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 Yes. All right.
Okay, with the resolution approving the engineer's report, same thing, this will give the general nature, purpose, and feasibility of the proposed improvement in and for Washburn Drainage Improvement District number 2026-1. The engineering planning, the improvement is hereby authorized and directed to prepare detailed plans and specifications for construction of the improvement.
Can we'll have to have a meeting for that as well.
That's gonna be the next.
That's the
resolution.
next one. Yep,
Oh,
this
this-
is just
this-
approving the engineer's report and
Oh.
allowing him to prepare the detailed plans and specifications for the project.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
any more discussion? Brandon?
Yes.
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 Okay, so then declaring the necessary improvement for the drainage improvement district, 2026-1, same, this thing will, drainage improvement district, 2026-1 shall include all lots, tracts, and parcels of land lying within the corporate limits of the city of Washburn, North Dakota. This will have to get filed. Written protests have to be filed within the 30 days after the publication. Same thing, we need a meeting date for that public hearing as well.
You do them on 2 separate days or the same day?
Has to be two separate, right?
I think you
We could
could,
do them together.
I think you could do them at the
Same
same
area,
time in
so-
conjunction, one after another.
Okay.
I think so, I can double check on that for you, but I don't think that'd be a problem.
I don't know why we couldn't. It's the same.
I mean, it's all the same project.
Yeah.
Essentially, we're doing these things twice because we have 2 assessment districts. We have one for the drainage and one for the street. That's why, otherwise it'd have been nicer just to have.
Right.
So we
Done
didn't
together.
do it all, but. I think you could do it together though, to
Okay.
answer that question. I'll confirm for you though.
Is it a waste of time to be overly cautious and say one's at 6:30, one's at 7 instead of having them together just in case we can't? Because then we would technically have to approve another meeting together, right? So can we just say one's at 7 o'clock on the 19th?
One's at 6:30, one's at 7.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fine.
Okay, because then you don't have to check anything really, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve whatever we just read. Sorry, I don't remember the fancy name and I don't have it in front of me, so that's okay. And then with the required meeting, the public hearing being on May 19th at 7 PM.
I second that.
Here at City Hall, we should probably get where
Yeah.
the location is, sorry buddy.
And it is stated on here that it's at City Hall, so that's how it will, I guess, be advertised. If it was gonna be changed, that would, because a resolution does state City Hall, so we should be good there.
In the past, has that been enough room? I mean, or how many people usually show up, I guess?
I think I remember last time, there was enough room, but there was more people that showed up for the meeting after that, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
I think actually with that initial public hearing, I had the flu, so I think I was gone, but it was here. For the actual special assessments, we had them over there.
The special assessments were bigger.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
Than
I
than
think we'll be fine here.
Any more discussion? If not, Brandon?
Yes.
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 What are those things? Am I missing one?
I think that's it. You had on here affidavit of publication and resolution determining insufficient protest. but
Oh.
I think those would be later, wouldn't they?
Yes, actually they would be. I took these from Abby and then I never verified, but yeah, we'll take those 2 out, so we'll just.
Okay. So we got all that.
Resolution should be good, yeah.
Okay.
So,
So we'll move on to number 19, E2 West update.
all right, so just the update on the street and drainage improvements project, so we got 30%, drawings and specs and, design review meeting complete, so we have a couple of things that we're gonna be making some adjustments on and, work our way towards, 90%. The engineer's reports and the resolutions, we already went through in detail, so, unless there's any other questions on those, I can answer them for you guys. We had touched on funding, Bank of North Dakota and SRF funding will be used for this project. The DWR funding, as I mentioned before, the DWR has already allocated all their funds for this biennium, so that's not something it doesn't look like that we'll be able to receive unless there's other funds become available. we are working on the facility plan that has to go out there for SRF funds to get the loan application approved. So that's all things that, we're working on right now. Already approved the resolutions. Is there any questions on the project? I know the reports, the engineer report that's used for these resolutions doesn't have a lot of detail. It just shows you guys the map and it shows you the cost estimate for the project. Is there any questions? I know that some of you have been more involved in the project, some of it's new to you guys. But do you have any questions on that project right now that we can add? Okay. Next thing I got is lead and copper rule. So category B funding, it's for service line inspections. We did the third round of inspections. We have about 29 addresses right now that still have unknown service line material on the private side. I shared with you guys, should all have this here. Adam, I invite you, if you want to look at any of these, if there's any of those homeowners that might have been gone during the winter time that were back now this spring. We completed the third round. If you want us to come out for a fourth round, we can, but that's the ones there. So lead and copper rule, what the EPA and the North Dakota Department of Environmental Quality want to know is what the service line materials everybody has going to their homes. We want to eliminate lead. That's the goal behind it, right? So that category B funding was to determine any unknown service lines that we have out there. We're sitting pretty good in Washburn. Like I said, we're down to like 29 unknowns. There's a lot more unknowns on the public side of the service lines. That's between the water main and the curb stop. But we're working on getting funding right now to be able to determine that side of the service line. So category C funding for replacement plans, that's another step that the DEQ wants to see. Washburn already applied for that, so we're expecting possibly this summer to get funding for that. So we'll get a plan in place, because what the lead and copper rule improvements state is that any line that's lead will be replaced. There's a 10-year window to get it replaced. Of course, you can replace it now if you want to, but starting in 2027 to 2037, all public water systems have to eliminate any lead lines they have. That's the 10-year window that the EPA is giving. So that replacement plan will kind of set you guys up with that roadmap to getting that done. So, and I think in town we have a handful, a dozen to 20 lead lines that we know of right now.
15-ish, something like that.
Any questions on lead and copper rule stuff? Okay. That's all I had to discuss, unless there was anything on the Highway 83. I know you guys talked about, I wasn't here at the last meeting, but you guys sold a couple lots. If there was anything else that you wanted to discuss on development on that. I was just gonna bring it up here, but I know we've already had a long meeting, so.
Did you ever get a true calculation on 7th Street sewer?
Yeah, so what we have found is that there, I know that that looks like that sewer line's full, but what we have found is that there's enough capacity still. But what we can do, we've looked at options to be able to add capacity of the sewer line coming down 7th Street if that's needed. But what I would suggest first is probably, if there was development that was gonna happen, to do it closer down to the implement. Because we have that other sewer line crossing Highway 83 to the south, down the highway.
Are you saying to push development?
Push development down towards the
To be down there?
yeah, towards the implement dealership, I think would be better. Especially if there's fears on 7th Street being at capacity.
So is it at capacity or?
No, not from anything that we have. But I guess the next step that I would do to determine that is I would, during peak times, your peak times are gonna be after 5 o'clock to before bedtime. So 5 to 8 probably at night, or maybe even that 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock AM time frame would be to pop the lids on the manholes and see how full they're flowing. But everything that I have, all the data that I have shows that there is capacity there.
Like percentage wise?
I don't have a percentage wise for you.
Okay.
But the development that we looked at in that report over 10 years ago, the calculations up for that were based off adding like 100 homes, I think, development. There was an acreage that it showed, you know. So I know there's been a lot of talk, you know, about where the development's gonna be and how big it's gonna be. And I think the next step would be determining what the size of that development, and then we can go forward with better calculations at that point to determine what would be added to the system if an expansion was necessary.
Cause yeah, we got those 6 lots or whatever.
6 lots is not gonna have an impact on it.
Right, but then once somebody goes behind there and
Right.
starts doing something, it's kinda gotta have an answer for them, or tell them if it's even possible or not, so we're still TBT, there's room, but we don't know how much.
I mean, when the acreage that we looked at was a lot of acreage. I think if it's gonna be six lots right now and 20 lots next year, if that would actually happen, I still think you'd be just fine. If you want like a capacity or percentage wise, I can look at that for you, but I know that Adams has also said that that 7th Street sewer is pretty full.
It's quite full, but obviously Watchman used to be bigger, so it used to be handle that. So, I mean, the way things are now, there's obviously capacity. Just because we're down, 400 people, 300 people from our max. So, I mean, you know, I've said this before, I prefer us to utilize the one that we brought across the highway specifically for an expansion, if possible. That's completely dry right now, but, you know.
So are we saying to run a line?
There already is.
There already is a line over there by the implement.
I know it's there, but it's not across the field though, right? I mean, it's.
Well, that's if.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Oh, yeah, it's not ran across the field, but it's, it crosses the highway there on 4th, and then it goes up the highway to the far end of the implement.
It goes on.
It goes across that road, so.
It goes across the.
If you turn around and look at the
Yeah,
map
it
there.
goes across 83.
Point at the implement there, and then where that first hydrant is, right there.
Yep.
That's where it goes to.
Pretty much right there.
So yeah, if you were to
This
do
is a
development
water
up
line.
in that area, yeah, it's not been ran any
Yep.
further
Yeah.
past your finger there.
Yeah, so
Yep.
I mean, if anything was gonna happen up here, you're saying it would have to.
Yeah, if you're
all the
gonna
way.
do development behind Custer up in that area, then that would be flow that would be added to 7th Street. Yeah. But if there was development in any part of that large field that's just north of that hydrant, that could all come to 4th Street.
You're saying from here down.
Yeah.
Needs to really come from here.
I think it could, yeah, it would go to that.
And then, but anything like happening up behind Heritage,
Yeah, that would go to 7th Street.
and there's enough room there. And-
Yes,
Okay,
I can tell you, yes, there
For that
is,
area.
yeah.
so,
Yeah, but I guess what I'm interested in knowing is if and when that's actually gonna happen, and if it is, how large?
right,
Cause then I can actually use data, numbers and stuff to look at it.
you got it.
If you guys are talking about developing up there, there's not much access across the highway up there. There's only 2 ways to get to the highway across there. The one on, 7th Street, and then the one by those homes, where they build the homes. That's only access to that side of the highway. Without going through a private, trailer court, or coming in from the north, right?
Just on the south side of Wagon Wheel.
Yeah.
And then,
Then
and then where you
Yeah,
come in
toward
on the
Gate.
south side of Captain's Cabin, is what he's
Yeah.
talking
Yep,
about.
there's only 2 ways to get to anything on that side of town.
Mike, what I would see happening is where that turnoff onto Dakota Drive is, that frontage road would continue to the south alongside Highway 83.
Right.
You would construct a road going alongside, the frontage road would continue,
That's what I'm
without having
saying,
to be built.
but that's not in any of the plans right now.
Well,
For that area up there.
Yeah, we don't know who's doing this
There
development
yet.
and how big it's
There-
gonna be.
yeah, there are no plans.
There's no plans for that.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's not much access, so when you tear up all the roads, people on the east side aren't gonna be able to get out real easy through the road construction.
We were talking about,
We're
you're talking about road construction, you're talking about
Well,
development.
well,
The
right, but that
development.
development is all gonna be in that same area. I'm just saying you got a problem with access to getting back in there right now.
I think he's talking about when you do the heritage project.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what he's
but
talking
And,
about.
and I think if they were gonna do some development, there'd be some roads that have to be constructed for them to work that out. But again, haven't seen any plans for development yet. I just know that there's been a lot of people interested in it.
Right, but that's what you're talking sewer now, so you're talking about development.
Mm.
So yes, we brought up sewer concerns and now some roadway concerns, good things to keep in mind if this does develop into more development, I would say.
That's all I have for you guys, unless there's more questions.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, portfolios, new business. Brandon, you have any?
I don't.
Actually, I just sent you those pictures for Mark Creek. Did anybody else ever talk to him? I know we hadn't, got the response back from you by email saying that, well, I guess the question is that, he wants to know if he can fill dirt in the alleyway between his two properties.
Mhm.
And I think what we got the information back from you that, yes, he can fill it in on his own expense. Just can't build anything on it. And then it's still the property of Washburn. Is that kind of what I got out of that email?
That is correct,
Nothing
yes.
gonna be there. The only thing it is I just wanna be able to fill the dirt in there. I don't want anything from you guys at all. So I can be able to landscape it and be able to mow it and keep it there, cause right now that hill is going down, so. And it's affecting my property when it starts to slide down that steep hill, then it gonna start taking away from my property. So what I wanna do is I want to backfill, cause right now it's about a 65, maybe 70-degree angle, about 65. And I wanna be able to put it out to, like what's out here at the child care center.
Mm.
Just so that way, I'm not gonna flip a mower over, that's all I wanna do.
Yeah, so,
But I just don't want anybody later on to go, hey, you gotta get rid of all that dirt. I want blessings or whatever you wanna call it.
okay, so does everybody kind of understand what he wants to do? And does anybody see any problem with him doing it or?
No.
I think that's okay.
No. It's an improvement for the city as well.
Yeah. So I guess at this point, we can tell him to go ahead and fill it in at his own expense and take care of it as he needs to. Just really can't build on it, right?
I'm not gonna build anything on it.
Correct.
Okay. So that's,
That'd be a motion, or no?
do we need a motion or just?
Good enough?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
No one disagrees.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Motion.
We are in agreement.
Okay.
All right, so that's all I got then. So,
I don't have anything. I skipped my HR meeting because I had a baby, but that's.
But that was okay.
Yeah,
I don't really have a whole lot, I don't think, to. Well, no, that's not true. I brought that, no, but that was last meeting. Okay, so I've had that from the library, but I think I brought that.
You did.
Okay,
For the
okay,
basement.
thank you. Just wanted to make sure. I think that was the only thing I had left.
Dan,
Dan?
I would like, I had talked to
oh,
you
sorry.
guys about the street, that by Cornwood. I would like if you guys at some time take a look at that and put some gravel, because it's, I talked to Adam about that.
Still coming,
Is
yep,
it? That's on your list here, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah, okay.
I appreciate that, you guys.
Yeah, Adam will bring that up.
Yeah,
Alright, I don't really have anything I just wanna thank the commission for working with Washburn Life, Park Board, all those other entities that are all part of our group in Washburn to make Washburn better, so that's all I got. Alright, Adam, you're,
If you got questions, I don't have it in front of me, but I remember it. I believe, did you also add the gravel list?
I did include that, yes.
I sent you a list of gravel additions we're looking to do here. Whenever weight restrictions come off, whenever that's gonna be, is when we're gonna start doing that. That plus, I don't believe that boat dock road is on there, but that is also
That's
on the
your-
agenda.
Okay, thank you. Oh, and thank you for getting the boat docks in. And the fishing pier will go in
It's gonna be next week
once
with,
things.
with the,
Fish cleaning
fish,
station.
with fish cleaning station next week, we think.
Okay,
Cause it looks like temperatures are gonna stay above freezing,
okay.
starting this weekend.
Oh, we will need to order a spiffy for down at the boat ramp at some point. I would say maybe the 1st of May.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Chelsea?
Cleanup week has been set for May 11th through the 15th, with 16th being curbside that Saturday. We are tentatively looking to close the memorial building for open walk on May 1st. And we are looking for one person to be on the library board, and we are looking for one person to be on the special assessment committee. And so if anybody is interested in doing that, please submit a letter of interest. The first week of May, I can't remember what that deadline is. May 7th by 4:30. And I think that's all I have. Yeah, the cleaning station should be open next week.
All right. Is that all, Chelsea?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, next meeting, May 11th, 2026, meeting adjourned.